can all hear me. Thank you so much, Chair and councillors, for listening to us. We're Enfield councillors from across all three constituencies, and our request for pause and review is simple and very sincere. We hope you've had a chance to read what we've written in the deputation. It is the result of months, actually, of reflection and debate, and we recognise that you're doing the same thing. Current and past members of NLWA, constituents, other councillors, MPs, actually anyone who would listen, respect our questions and our motives. We don't come to this deputation lightly. Since the Secretary of State granted consent in 2017, our world has changed. That's been alluded to. We applaud the many aspects of the eco park that have already been discussed and are already begun. Personally, I was a strong advocate. I visited long ago, but times have changed. We don't know what the next year or the next decade will bring, beyond that we all know the changes will be profound. Just this morning, I read that people are moving out of London to more spacious parts of the country. COVID-19 and working from home have made such movements a realistic possibility. Post-Brexit might see an exodus of skilled workers from London. The projected population increases may not come to pass. We anticipate a deep recession when consumption will fall and there will be less waste. Brexit will potentially herald changes in environmental standards. Legislation has changed, emission targets are more rigorous. Elected bodies at all levels have declared a climate emergency with commitments to cutting and not just reducing or offsetting carbon dioxide emissions. Incineration emits carbon dioxide, however you dress it up. Delays to your own plans recognise some of these uncertainties. What I hope to do is to just pose some questions to you that residents have posed to us, and we've been surprised at the answers. Forgive me, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs. I know how experienced you all are, but some of the discoveries were surprising. So question one is about the composition of the residual waste that will be burnt. For the record, residual waste is the waste that's left once recyclable waste has been separated. If recycling rates are poor, what can be recycled goes into the residual waste stream and is burnt. Recycling rates across the authority are about 30%. The website actually says residual waste may inevitably contain material which in theory could be recycled. Second question, is recycled waste separated from the residual waste at the new resource recovery facility? I thought it was, but it's not. It's up to us householders and businesses to do the separation. So we're burning and plan to burn what can be recycled for the next half century. We wonder what next generations will say about that. What about when North London improves its recycling? It's been mentioned, its population goes down, people consume less. What happens with overcapacity? Well, I don't think many of our constituents knew that waste would be imported into Edmonton from beyond North London. Again, the website has a statement which says we make sure we don't have spare capacity. This could be offered to third-party residual waste collectors. We had a question about how it was paid for and discovered that it's council tax and a loan. We know microparticles in the emissions carry viruses. We're told they can be filtered out. As Kate has said, the communities in Edmonton are uniquely vulnerable to COVID-19. So a question is about, are you convinced it's safe? The tide is turning on incineration as a means of managing waste beyond the small quantity of residual waste that cannot currently be recycled. The Deputy Mayor of London has written, I've been clear that London is facing a climate emergency and does not need more energy from waste incinerators. Dr. Alan Whitehead, MP, Shadow Minister for Energy and the Green New Deal, said we need to understand why, in an era of zero carbon ambitions, the idea of granting permission for such an enormous plant to deal with our waste is still being contemplated. Councillors, our future is in your hands. We offer you the opportunity to respond constructively by pause and a further review, and honourably to ask for this change and review. We ask that you pause, examine the evidence and ask the hard questions that we've been asking. Please satisfy yourself and reassure our constituents that the proposed ERF is fit for purpose environmentally, economically and above all will do no harm. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vicki. And again, I have to say this, to suggest that we have not been working hard to develop the best solution for North London for the next 20 years is incredibly disingenuous. Incredibly disingenuous. And we've been working hard with boroughs like Enfield Council around this project for many, many years. So to suggest anything else, Vicki, is incredibly disingenuous. And we have been asking the hard questions. We have been answering the hard questions day in and day out for many, many years now. But at some point, someone has to show some leadership, Vicki, and I'm proud of the members of the authority that are showing that leadership, having to make difficult decisions, but for the right reasons. And yeah, we are doing what we can on a whole range of different environmental agendas and issues as well. And I pay tribute to Enfield Council and the work that they've been doing to encourage more people to walk and cycle. I pay tribute to Enfield Council for coming up with the Meridian water proposals that will take the heat from our plant going forward. These are the kind of constructive and sustainable solutions that we all need to be engaging in. And I look forward, Vicki, to you coming out and fighting to make sure that the ULEZ covers the A406 and moves to encompass all of Enfield going forward. Because if you are really serious on this agenda, and if you have got your sights on the future generations of North London, then that's really where you should be targeting and focusing yourself. Thank you, Vicki.
May I come back on that, please, Chair?
If you want to.
Just briefly to say that along with Councillor Daniel Anderson, I was fighting strenuously, both for Cycle Enfield, walking and Good. So on, and also for the ULEZ. And I think I did pay tribute to the good parts of the Eco Park, which we applaud. My own commitment to the energy from waste going back many, many years. But we're talking about things that have happened in the last 2 years. I'm sure you've been reflecting long and hard. We're just asking that you just have another gentle think about the sorts of questions that our residents simply did not know the answer to. I was shocked when they heard them.
To be fair, Vicki, there's nothing that has occurred in the past couple of years that hasn't been on the authorities' mind for far more years. You know, we are at the forefront of the environmental agenda at the North London Waste Authority. We are the second largest waste disposal authority in the UK. We have responsibility for resolving 3% of the UK's entire waste. So of course we take those issues seriously. And of course we've pondered long and hard on what the right solutions are going forward, way before many of the more recent activists and converts to this agenda have come into play. Thank you for your time, Vicki.